Right now on Nightcast, Hillary Clinton is just hours away from officially becoming Senator of New York. We're live in D.C. with a preview.
Also, new details about the man accused of attacking Archbishop Egan during Mass.
And in Health Watch, the over-the-counter drugs that can hurt your unborn baby.
Nightcast, right now.
You're watching the CBS 2 Information Network.
Now, live from Fifth Avenue, this is Nightcast.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Angela Ray.
And I'm Ernie Anastas. Well, tomorrow marks the beginning of a new era. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton will be sworn in as Senator of New York. She replaces Daniel Patrick Moynihan, who served for almost 25 years. Nightcast reporter Marcia Kramer joins us live from Washington tonight with the latest. Marcia.
Well, Ernie, Hillary Clinton and her husband were out in the town tonight celebrating the fact that for the next 17 days, she'll be the only person in history to be both the First Lady and a United States Senator at the very same time. The first couple's motorcade drove through downtown Washington for a private reception at a Pennsylvania Avenue restaurant called 701. After helping his wife thank supporters, President Clinton, accompanied by Chelsea, ducked out to go back to the White House. Picking up the tab for the bash, two corporate conglomerates, Coca-Cola and the Aflac Insurance Corporation. It was to be the first of three parties over the next 2 days to mark the passing of the political torch from President Clinton to his wife Hillary. The Clintons haven't moved out of the White House, but they're already making waves in their new neighborhood, where they bought a multi-million-dollar, 6-bedroom, 7-bath red brick house on a street of dignified estates across from the Danish embassy. New no trespassing signs have been posted. Dark black Secret Service vans guard the cul-de-sac, and neighbors have already put up no parking signs, just like the people in Chappaqua did when the Clintons moved in there. So why does Mrs. Clinton, an empty nester, need such a large house? Well, political insiders say it's so that she can mold herself as the premier hostess and fundraiser for the out-of-power Democratic Party. I asked New York senior Senator Chuck Schumer about this hostess with the mostest stuff, but he said that Hillary would be better advised to tend to business.
I think the #1 job of a senator from New York is to help New York.
Hillary, who will officially replace U.S. Senator Daniel P. Moynihan tomorrow, was given temporary office quarters in the basement of the Dirksen office building. Her home for the next 3 months features newly delivered boxes of Washington tourist information to give to constituents and lots of unoccupied computers. Mrs. Clinton's newly picked chief of staff, Tamara Lozado, sat at her boss's new desk next to a bouquet of wilting flowers.
Now, Hillary's got very big shoes to fill. Senator Moynihan has been an outstanding senator for the people of New York for so long. Now, the festivities get underway tomorrow, but already there are signs of favoritism. The Sergeant-at-Arms of the Senate announced tonight that he was considering allowing Mrs. Clinton to go first in an annual reenactment of the swearing-in where the relatives are allowed to participate. Generally, that's done by seniority, and given the fact that Mrs. Clinton is 97 out of 100, that would mean she'd go near the end. Live in Washington, I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS 2 Nightcast.
Okay, we'll be watching. Thank you, Marcia. So what should we expect from freshman Senator Clinton in her first year in office? Tonight, we're posing that question to New Yorkers. Check out their answers in our Nightcast Soapbox, coming up a little bit later in the broadcast.
And tomorrow, John Corzine, New Jersey's $61 million man, will be sworn in, replacing the retiring Senator Frank Lautenberg. Corzine, who broke records for campaign spending, began settling into his new Washington office today. The former Goldman Sachs chairman says his top priority is to keep a campaign promise.
Health care and access at health care is something that I intend to focus on and make a priority. And so we're going to try to fulfill that promise.
After he gets some of his things put away, the soon-to-be freshman senator says he'll also push for a stronger Social Security program, better public education, and sensible gun laws. President-elect George W. Bush is finished picking his cabinet. Today he chose Democrat Norman Mineta for Secretary of Transportation. Mineta has served as Commerce Secretary under President Clinton for the past 6 months. Mr. Bush named Linda Chavez for Labor Secretary. She was director of the Civil Rights Commission under President Reagan. And Spencer Abraham is the man for Energy Secretary. He's the Michigan senator who lost his re-election bid back in November.
A Long Island man is accused of killing his ex-wife tonight and then holding police at bay. Nightcast reporter Marcella Palmer has the latest on the story live tonight from Bethpage. Marcella.
Well, Ernie, Claire Jackman didn't get to enjoy the new year for very long. Police say she was shot by her ex after the two had an argument. Then he locked her wounded inside of her own home. An emergency team rushed 65-year-old Claire Jackman from her Bethpage home late this afternoon into an ambulance. She was hanging on to life after detectives tell us her ex-husband, 68-year-old Wynn, shot her in the abdomen with a hunting rifle. Then they say he locked them both inside. She would have surely died in that house without medical treatment, but someone saw what was happening.
A person who was in the house, a locksmith, saw the man enter with a rifle. He ran out of the house and he notified the police.
Special operations officers got on the scene and made their way into the barricaded house to find a critically wounded Claire inside. Police say she had been lying there for close to 2 hours.
In a situation like this, the Bureau of Special Operations is requested. They came down, they set up a perimeter, and then finally they entered the house, and to take her out to get first aid for her, he realized apparently at some time that she was still alive, and then they took him into custody while they were in the house.
With Winthrop in custody, his ex-wife Claire was rushed to Nassau County Medical Center for emergency surgery on the bullet wound to her abdomen. Neighbors told CBS 2 off camera the Jackmans were nice people, but they had their problems.
We don't have any disturbance problems that I can find right at this time, but there was a report of a burglary back in November, and at that time she had told the investigating officers that her husband was a suspect in that.
There will be no more trouble between the Jackmans. Claire lost her fight to live around 9 p.m. here at Nassau County Medical Center, and police tell me that her ex-husband, Winthrop Jackman, will be charged sometime tomorrow. Reporting live from Nassau County, Marcella Palmer, CBS 2 Nightcast.
Thank you, Marcella. A Brooklyn couple and their 2 friends died today in a fiery car crash with a snow removal truck. Police say the car was speeding more than 50 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone on Bay Ridge Parkway. The car slammed into the front-end loader and burst into flames on impact. The driver of the loader was not hurt. Police found the body of a newborn baby in Lower Manhattan tonight. 4 days ago, an anonymous caller told police an 18-year-old woman had given birth and possibly dumped the baby in the sanitation lot at South and Pike Streets. Well, that's exactly where they found the body. The medical examiner will do an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Police are questioning someone, but they won't say if it's the mother.
And tonight we are learning more about the man accused of attacking Archbishop Egan during Mass.
Yesterday's attack had apparently been planned for weeks. CBS 2 reporter Vince Dementri has the latest.
Here's 38-year-old Timothy Byrne looking dazed and confused. He was taken away from the Midtown North Precinct last night. But 20 hours later in Manhattan Criminal Court, Byrne appeared to be on the ball. He told the judge he knew who she was, where he was, and who his attorney is. Still, not convinced he's in his right mind, she denied his bail request.
We're very disappointed that Mr. Byrne is in custody this evening. It's most certainly the worst place for him to be is in jail.
Actually, the judge ordered Byrne to undergo a psych exam. In much of his 2-page written confession to police, Timothy Byrne rambles on much of the time, but in a few lucid moments, he basically says that he did this because the Catholic Church is perpetrating a fraud on the public. So, he took it upon himself to effect the citizen's arrest of Archbishop Egan, and then he says he hoped that he got publicity for this. He did, and then some. It's certainly not what his sister and brother-in-law wanted. They made a beeline to a getaway car after sitting in on the arraignment. And that's where they heard the prosecutor talk about Byrne's long mental history and how the former architect admitted that he staked out St. Pat's, detailing the comings and goings of the priest for weeks in preparation for his failed attempt to handcuff and arrest Archbishop Edward Egan. Byrne also admitted to using a towel rack inside his Hoboken apartment to practice speed cuffing someone. This neighbor isn't surprised. A couple of months ago, he saw this.
Before I know, they were leading him out, but leading him out in cuffs.
Turns out the Secret Service came calling after Byrne threatened to kill President Clinton. He was later released. For the next 7 days, he'll be under lock and key, a threat to no one. We'll find out what the docs have to say when Byrne's back in court January 9th. In Lower Manhattan, Vince Dementri, CBS 2 Nightcast.
Tonight, the Suffolk County Police Department is being sued by a woman who claims an officer ordered her to strip off her clothes and walk home nearly naked. A tearful Angelina Torres claims she was stopped near the Chardonnay bar in Shirley New Year's morning. She says the officer gave her a DWI test and handcuffed her when she failed. Torres says he then took it a step further.
He drove me to like 5 blocks away from my house, got me out the car, unhandcuffed me, and told me to take my clothes off and walk home.
Torres is seeking $15 million in punitive damages. Suffolk County Police are investigating. They're not releasing the name of the officer involved.
There's a lot more ahead tonight on Nightcast. The drug dangers for pregnant women. We'll tell you the drugs you should avoid if you're expecting.
Also, he who hits the hardest has the floor. We'll tell you about this big battle between lawmakers.
And later tonight, what New Yorkers expect from Hillary Clinton in her first year of office.
Plus, David Rogers' weather.
Hey, get ready for plenty of sunshine tomorrow, but will temperatures finally get out of the freezer? I'll let you know. Plus, have your bus stop forecast. This is your CBS 2 Information Network.
You're watching the CBS 2 Information Network.
Music's top awards, tomorrow on CBS 2 at 5. Find out who's nominated for the Grammys. We'll bring you the scoop in a CBS 2 VH1 report. Plus, David Rogers and your no-nonsense weather, tomorrow at 5.
Our look at the world tonight. The trial of 4 accused terrorists begins tomorrow in Manhattan. The men are charged with the 1998 bombings of the U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. 224 people were killed, including 12 Americans. The 4 are believed to have ties to suspected terrorist Osama bin Laden.
It is round 2 for President Clinton and Yasser Arafat. The Palestinian leader arrived at the White House tonight for a second session of negotiations over Mideast peace talks. Arafat wants more clarification from the president on his proposed framework for new talks. The 2 men met for 2 hours earlier today, but there's no word on whether they are making any progress.
Could use some peace talks in Mexico. The first session of the legislature in the state of Tabasco erupted in fisticuffs today, as you can see. Lawmakers came to blows over the appointment of an interim governor. The outgoing legislature picked him as a last grab for power before the newly elected opposition members could take office.
Sad news, one of America's favorite actors, Ray Walston, is dead tonight. Walston played the lovable alien in the CBS sitcom My Favorite Martian in the 1960s. He later went on to win 2 Emmy Awards in 1995 and 96 for his role in another CBS show, Picket Fences. Walston died in his sleep yesterday at his home in Beverly Hills. He was 86.
Recent studies have linked caffeine intake with miscarriages, and now the safety of many other chemicals and drugs is also being questioned. In tonight's Health Watch, CBS 2 anchor Todd McDermott reveals the controversy surrounding pregnancy and drug use.
They're the haunting images of children who were exposed to thalidomide decades ago. During the 1960s, the notorious drug was given to expectant mothers to relieve morning sickness. Today, the medical field still battles uncertainty and confronts controversy when prescribing drugs to pregnant women.
We actually know very, very little about what drugs have what effects on a fetus.
Scarce research has been a major roadblock for both patients and doctors.
Companies are concerned, so they don't want to do these tests. They're afraid of liability. They're afraid they're going to be sued.
And it's this uncertainty which leaves expecting moms like Ruth Topol apprehensive to take any kind of medication.
Putting a drug inside my body, even though it's quote-unquote just Tylenol and isn't really going to hurt anything, taking it for the first time, I was nervous about it.
But for many pregnant women who are fighting a serious illness, treatment often requires drug therapy.
We can't ever say 100% that any medication can't possibly have any bad effect on the pregnancy.
In some cases, it's a delicate balancing act. Not taking medication could actually do more harm than good, putting both mom and unborn child at risk for health complications. The FDA is now launching efforts to promote research on medicine use during pregnancy. Currently, there are some drugs which are known to cause birth defects or health complications.
We know that lithium taken in the first trimester when the baby's heart is developing can cause a severe type of heart defect.
Other drugs that can do devastating damage to a fetus include ACE inhibitors, prescribed to control blood pressure, Coumadin, a blood thinner that can induce fetal hemorrhage, Accutane, a common acne medication that causes severe birth defects, methotrexate, an anti-cancer drug that induces fetal hemorrhage, Dilantin, and other anti-seizure medications can cause birth defects. And there are those drugs like ibuprofen that are safe during the first and second trimesters, but can cause problems later on in a pregnancy.
It can cause the amniotic fluid level to drop around the baby, and it can also cause some changes in the baby's heart.
So what is safe to take when you're pregnant? Antibiotics like penicillin and some over-the-counter medications, including Tylenol, Sudafed, or Benadryl.
But with an abundance of over-the-counter medications on the market, it is essential to contact your physician before taking any drug while pregnant. Even if the box is labeled safe during pregnancy, check with your doctor first. Todd McDermott, CBS 2 Nightcast.
And now, Nightcast weather with David Rogers.
All right, things are looking pretty good across the Manhattan sky after an abundant amount of sunshine. You know, we still had a hard time, folks, getting temperatures out of the 20s. A lot of clear sky tonight means another cold one, but there is a little warmth at the end of the tunnel. Nice looking night tonight across the area. A lot of clear sky. Beautiful condition for you stargazers. 20 degrees right now at Central Park. Light breeze out of the northwest at about 6. Humidity locked in at 62%. And the barometric pressure is currently steady. Real cold temperatures already being picked up to the north and west. Look at Andover right now, already down to 3 degrees. Newburgh right now at 14, Bridgeport 18, and Belmar's current temperature is at 18. What's happening is a lot of that heat that we did generate today escaping right through the atmosphere with a light wind and a lot of the clear sky. 26 was our high today. Our morning low was 20 degrees, so not a lot of activity with the mercury. No precipitation to report, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:40. All right, here's a look at our big satellite picture. Notice off to the west some lake effect cloudiness and some lake effect snow. It won't reach our neck of the woods. We're still under the influence of a nice ridge of high pressure, which is still to the south of us, and it's going to control our weather pattern at least through the day tomorrow. What's going to be happening is a fast-moving Alberta clipper, not a very strong system, but you can notice some of the cloud cover and the limited amounts of snow that are falling across the western sections of Minnesota, eastern sections of the Dakotas. That's going to be sliding into our weather picture late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Maybe just some clouds, perhaps a few flurries early Thursday morning, but it looks like that's going to be just about it. It looks like a relatively dry week after the active weekend that we had. A lot of cold temperatures expected tonight. For your day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, a pleasant day on tap throughout most of the eastern half of the nation. Then, as I mentioned, later in the day Wednesday, going into Thursday morning, we'll see that system kicking in, giving us the chance for a few widely scattered flurries, but it looks like that's going to be just about it. So with that in mind, here's your forecast in detail. It's going to be a cold one, and we're going to have to issue a cuddle alert, especially for areas to the north and west. Get yourselves a warm blanket and find someone to share it with. 0 in Suffern, -4 in Vernon, 17 in New York. Bus stop forecast for tomorrow. Bundle the kids up. Make sure they have that hot breakfast. It's going to be a cold one, 15 to 25. Westerly winds at 5 to 10. Sunny and cold conditions. So here's your 5-day forecast. And again, we are going to see a little warmth as temperatures start to rebound and go slightly above the freezing point. 5-day forecast does indicate that. I know it's there somewhere.
Oh, I like the little kids, Dave.
There it is. All right. 31 degrees your high tomorrow. Thursday up to 33 above freezing. 35 on Friday. It's going to feel like a heat wave again. Maybe some snow showers on Saturday and Sunday. Look for temperatures right around 36. So
all right,
things warming up. Welcome aboard.
A little bit. Well, we could be going from the big chill maybe to the big tuna. Who knows?
Oh, my.
That might be a thrill for Jets fans. Don't know if it's going to happen, unfortunately. You know, leftover tuna doesn't actually sound all that appetizing.
Or
from a culinary, no, it's not. Right. But what a delicacy it would be for Jets fans. Might Bill Parcells be coming back to the Jets? We'll have the answer to that question in Nightcast Sports. What do you think of that?
I like that.
Right after this.
Closed captioning for CBS 2, provided by Toyota. Real values every day. And now, Nightcast Sports with Fred Haber.
Well, we still don't know who the Jets head coach is tonight, although we do know who it isn't. Despite what would have been massive approval from everybody who owns even one article of green clothing, Bill Parcells is sticking to his guns that he will never coach in the NFL again. Parcells met with Jets owner Woody Johnson today, and while the team made no public statement, Parcells told the Boston Globe today, quote, "My coaching days are over," end quote. That leaves the field wide open as far as his successor is concerned. Some say Maurice Carthon is the odds-on choice. Maurice, the Jets assistant seen here when he was a player wearing number 44 there blocking, is a quote-unquote Parcells guy, but he's only 39 years old and he's never been a head coach at any level. Others say this man fired Redskins coach Norv Turner is the guy. We will know more about all of this tomorrow. Well, the 3 wins the Nets had in December would have been a pretty impressive figure if December were a week. It being a month made it one of the most dismal stretches in Nets franchise history, including 7 straight losses to end the year. The Nets trying to turn things around tonight, although Stephon Marbury heating up his lumbago there wasn't a good sign. Apparently, though, it was not too bad. Marbury with the steal, Kenyon Martin with the finish. The rookie had 25, and a nice finish it was. And if you're still worried about Marbury's health, don't be. The prayer hook shot, come on.
Oh,
he had 30 points in the game, and the Nets are undefeated in 2001.
Well, there you have it.
Terrific. They beat the Magic tonight by 10. College hoops tonight. Nothing more touching than seeing a grown man dancing with a 6-foot cat. It's college hoops, folks. Rutgers at Villanova. Those are the Wildcats in white. Who's got Aaron Matthews? Who's got Aaron? Nobody's got Aaron Matthews. You got to guard Aaron Matthews.
Yeah, I do.
The business end for him, Jermaine Medley. Matthews had 16, and the Cats take out Rutgers tonight, 67-63. On the ice tonight, a hockey game in January isn't exactly the NFL playoffs, but tonight at the Meadowlands, the week of hatred between New York and Philly officially began. The Eagles will come to the Meadowlands on Sunday. Tonight, the Flyers came, and the bottom line is nobody from Philly is winning anything in Jersey this week. Or, if they tried, they were going to leave with a black eye. That's the sporting spirit.
Yes, yes.
Second period now, Devils in their own end, a giveaway, which isn't good. Damon Langkow gets the puck, the backhand, top shelf, and the enemy Flyers from Philly lead it 1-0. Not good. Fortunately, there was a third period. There almost always is. John Madden takes the shot. It's blocked in front of the net, but he stays there. Richard Schmelik gets it back to him, and this time on the second chance, he scores number 14 for Madden. And indeed, Philly does not win in Jersey tonight. It was a 1-1 tie. In Uniondale tonight, Butch Goring's Islanders hosted the Canadiens, and more interesting than the game itself is the fact that this man behind the net, the goalie, Jose Theodore, has a chance to make his dream come true from end to end. Look at this, the goaltender. The goaltender has scored a goal. Only a handful of times has it taken place in NHL history, and you know you're struggling when the opposing goalie outscores your team. Habs shut out the Isles tonight, 3-0. The NFL named its Defensive Player of the Year today, and they could have made him the Comeback Player of the Year as well. Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis gets the award just 6 months after being acquitted of murder charges. Lewis led the record-setting Ravens defense with 184 tackles this year, and if the Ravens don't make the Super Bowl this year, here's hoping that Ray spends the week at home. And finally tonight, just a thought, for all you Eagle fans who wanted to buy tickets for the game at the Meadowlands this Sunday, as we used to say in 3rd grade, tough. It seems that 5,000 extra tickets became available for the game, which the Giants said they would release through Ticketmaster outlets in, quote, the Northeast. Well, when Eagle fans, pictured here, tried to buy the tickets, they found out that the Giants had changed the sale area to exclude Southern Jersey and Philly. Giants representative Pat Hanlon said, quote, I'm sure if the Eagles had 5,000 extra tickets to sell, they wouldn't do it in Times Square. We've got the home field advantage. We get to sell the tickets to our fans. I believe that is completely just. If the Eagles wanted home field advantage, hey, win a couple more games, you know? There you go. That's the answer.
That's the old spirit there, Brett.
There you go.
Okay. Goodbye, sir.
Thanks, you, Brett.
Ciao. And still ahead, what's ahead for Hillary Clinton's first year in the Senate?
And here what New Yorkers have to say, the Nightcast Soapbox, coming up next.
Look on the bright side. If you had watched CBS 2 News this morning, you'd already be working right now. Traffic and transit reports on the tubes, doing our part to get you there, and all part of the new CBS 2 Information Network.
Well, what should we expect from freshman Senator Hillary Clinton in her first year in office?
Well, we posed that question to New Yorkers in our Nightcast Soapbox. Watch.
I expect her to do a good job representing New York. I think she has her work cut out for her because she's new, but yet she's high profile, so I think there's going to be possibly some animosity towards her, but I think she's up for the challenge.
I'm so uninterested with her that I really don't expect anything.
Tax break, hopefully, for New Yorkers at work.
Hopefully she keeps to her promise of education. I think that's important. And I'm expecting Hillary to continue with great strides as far as continuing on with the Senate. I'm hoping that she will be considering running for the presidency in 2004.
All right, there you have it. Sound bites, take your pick. Still ahead for you tonight. After a year in exile, the .com guy goes free.
The story when Nightcast comes right back.
Critics agree Traffic is the best picture of the year.
We need to take down one of these cartels.
A gripping edge-of-your-seat thriller.
The border's disappearing. It's going to be a free-for-all.
It's all about the money. 2 big thumbs up for this powerful epic.
Oh my goodness, if I miss.
The most exciting movie of the year.
Let's do some more.
Just tell me where my daughter is.
Nominated for 5 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. Traffic, rated R. Now playing in LA and New York, Friday everywhere.
Before.
The man known as .com guy is back in the real world. Mitch Maddox left his Dallas townhouse yesterday after spending a year there in self-imposed exile, living on the internet. Everything he needed, he ordered online just to prove that it can be done. Well, he spent his first full day of freedom at a family gathering where he proposed to a woman that he met in a chat room. She said yes.com. Yes.org.
What is wrong? Easy, Jagger. What is wrong with him?
I don't know. He's having a good time, I suppose.
You think?
That wraps up our newscast for tonight. Join us for all of us here at CBS 2. Thanks for watching. I'm Ernie Anastas.
I'm Angela Ray. The Late Show with David Letterman's up next. Gwyneth Paltrow's his guest. Have a good one.
Good night.